Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and I have a fun little pocket that I have made, and I'm going to show you how I did them. Now, this inspiration came from my last video. If you saw my last video where I made the masterboards, this was the case it came in, and I thought, well, that would make a really cute pocket, right? So I'm going to use this as a template to create some other pockets. And I do have a workaround for people who probably no one else, well, somebody might have this exact same setup, but I do have a template that you can use to create your own. Pretty simple to do. All right, so what I started with is these cards were, I have a stack of them. They were, I think all like die cuts with a view, matte stacks. They're 4.5 by 6.5, I believe. Right? Yeah, 4.5 by 6.5. So I started with those. I am going to show you, I'm going to use that masterboard that I created from this, but I cut them, I think 4.5 by 6. So it's a little bit smaller. So 4 by 6 cards would work, 4.5 by 6 would work. Yeah, it pretty much, whatever size you want to do. Obviously it has to be a rectangle, but these were 4.5 by 6.5. Now I have some that are double-sided, and that's what this one was. This is the first one I created. It was double-sided, and I did not decorate this at all. But to make this a scrap buster, I have taken the rest of these and added some scraps to them. Not a lot of scraps, but a bit of scraps. So this one, let's see, I have the paper right here, just glued onto it. And this one is some painty scraps that I had laying around in there, and use that. And yeah, so going from there. All right, so this is so simple to do, so fun to make. So we're going to start with, I'll just do this white-sided one because I'm going to want to put some paper on there. Now, if you wanted to start with, say, like regular Tim Holtz paper that is double-sided, you could do that. I just had these scrap pieces of paper laying around, you know, bust a scrap. That's the whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to get my scoreboard out. And this is going to be inside, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, I did a couple iterations of these, and this one, the first one I did, I folded up 2.5 inches. Works good. The next one I did, I actually only folded up 2 inches, so you can see it is much bigger for the base, much less to decorate. And then the third one I did was 2.25. So I kind of settled, you know, Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear. And so you can see 2.5, 2.25, 2. I think the 2.25 is probably a nice one for this size 4.5 by 6.5. But again, you do you. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to score it at 2.25 just to get the fold up for this. And so, like I said, if you have double-sided paper, you're all set to go. If you've got double-sided where it's 2 colors, I'm just going to score this one just because I got it, and I got the scoreboard. 2.25. Oh, it's a little crooked. There we go. Okay, put that to the side for now. All right, so this is where I got the idea from, and I will use that on there. But I think I'm gonna glue first. I think I'm gonna put my. Now I saw this sitting here, painty paper. This would probably be perfect for this. So let's glue the scrap onto here so the pocket is not one color. I got my paper, and I'm just gonna open it up and put some glue on this pocket, right where the fold is. And I'm just gonna put it on there and then cut it away when all is said and done. All right, well, I might as well just use this side. Well, I might as well use the end. Cut off a little less, save. All right, put it down. And okay, we can wait for it to stop being wet, or we can cut it now. And of course, I am always impatient, so we're going to cut it now. And this thicker cardstock is great to be able to cut away because you got a nice little ridge to rest your scissors on while you're cutting. There we go. Oh, that could have worked, but it's a little short. Now, if I wanted to, if I didn't like that color and I wanted to, I could always throw some decoration on this and glue a second one on there and make it double prettier. And I actually kind of like that. So I'm just going to throw it on there real quick. Wasn't planning on it. The rest, I just used a regular solid color or whatever was on there, but there we go. Make sure it gets. Again, not necessary. This one has no scrap paper on there. I could always still decorate this with some labels or some flowers or some, you know, whatever on there, washi tape. Colors are pretty, especially with this two-sided paper. But when you're folding up white, you know, on white, it's probably a good idea to be able to cover it. So let's get rid of the excess on this one. Okay, so for the guide, all I'm going to do is take this pocket and I'm going to do my best to center it on here. And I'm going to use, I have this, I don't know what they call the stylus. It's got a little ballpoint on there, but you probably could use a bone folder. And I'm just going to outline where this pocket goes. Now, you could use a pen, but the reason that I decided to use this kind of stylus thing is because I'm not going to cut this completely out. I'm actually going to cut a little bit and fold it over to make it stronger. And hopefully you can see it. You can kind of see on this side the line, and then on this side you can see the line. So I'm just going to cut. There we go. I'm like, I need a shadow. I'm going to cut to that straight line, and this paint on here is very... Can I see the other side? Not really. I'm just going to put a little bit more deeper line on that one. There we go. Now I can see it. All right, so we're going to cut. Now, if you want to eyeball it, by all means eyeball it, but I would never make that straight enough to work. All right, so instead of, you can cut it there if you want to. This is thick enough, but I decided to fold this over just to give this pocket a little bit more strength and glue it down. And there is the cute little pocket. Now on the other ones, I did round the tops on these, and I don't know if I should try this. It's probably still wet, but there we go, we got it. Round it, and if you want to ink, make sure you do that before you close the pocket down. And all we're going to do is glue the pocket shut. 2 lines. On the paper, not on the desk, Lisa. Oh, that's way out of whack. But we're going to go with it. And that is as simple as it is to make one of these pockets, and how fun they are. I'm not gonna, I got some cards here. So it's fun because the little opening leaves a little bit extra to be seen. So when you're tucking something in, it kind of frames it. Like, look how cute that one is in there. I think I'll keep that one in there. That one worked good. I like it. So there. So again, you would put something in there, and you got a little bit extra room to be able to decorate something, and how fun. All right, let me show you the template that I made to be able to make your own without having this pre-made template for you. So what I did was, and I got it cut out already, this was a 2-inch square. You can see it. It's 2 by 2. I did do it on something a little bit thicker. If you're just going to make one pocket, you can make it out of paper. It doesn't matter. But I cut a 2 by 2 inch square. And then I took my scoreboard. and I made a line and folded it so that it was in half diagonally. Now, the next thing that I did was I took one of the sides to make the bottom part, and I'll just put that in there, and I made a score at 3/4. I took this and made a score at 3/4, and then cut that piece off. So you have a square that has the one end off and not. So we're gonna pretend like this is the one we're gonna do, and let's decorate it. What can we put on this? That could be fun. Let's do that, but I think I'm gonna trim the white down. There's a little bit of a white border on here. Yeah, I like that there's kind of yellow in there, and then black and yellow always goes great together. So I think I'm going to glue that down on there. And then I'll show you how we use that 2x2 template to cut it out. All right, so we're going to, once again, open it up, put some glue on that flap, make sure I get all the way to the bottom, and we're going to glue that down. Now, I don't mind that it's coming off the outside here, because like I said, we're going to go back and cut that, and we're going to make sure it is nice and glued down. Okay, so you can see that it was too long, but since I only put the glue on this flap, it is pushed away. All right, so we're going to go ahead and, like the other ones, just trim it down. We're going to trim it down. We're going to make sure we don't cut the bottom of the pocket, because that would not be good. Just right along the edge, and right along the edge. Yeah, keep that as a scrap. Cute, I like it. Okay, so for the template, I'm going to put this bigger part in the back and that in the front. So there is where we're going to draw our lines. And kind of like the other one, we're just going to do our best to center it. And if you want to mark it off with rulers, you do you. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm just looking to see if that part is as much as that. And we are close enough. Okay, so same thing as doing that outline on the inside. We're going to do the outline on the outside for this. And we're going to draw that side. We're going to draw the bottom. Not really draw, but score. And we're going to score that side. Okay, that one's a little easier to see. You can see the score, score, score. And like before, we are going to trim it. Now this one is square. The angles are a little bit bigger than this was. Not quite the same, but I think it still works. Okay, we cut the two sides, and we're going to fold it down and glue it. All right, put a little ink on there. And we'll round this. Now again, if you wanted to cover the back because you don't like the color of whatever one you chose, if it's a print, you can go ahead and leave it, however you want to do it. But I like it because that yellow just brings out the yellow. Sorry, I had to pause and take a little cough break there. I like that fact that the yellow goes with the yellow, and all we gotta do is glue it down with my shaky hands. Jeez, like I've been drinking something. I like this one. This one's cute. So a very simple pocket, and it's probably hard to tell, but this angle, this is just a little sharper than this. but I think it's pretty close. I can maybe put this on here and show you that. I mean, it's just barely, not negligible, especially if you want to do a pocket like that. The 1 inch square, score in 3/4, and then you have a beautiful little template. And this is just a piece of paper, but look how cute. That's a really cute one. I like that. I am very happy with that one. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up a bit, and I'm going to show you the version that I did with the pre-made master boards that I just created in the last video. So I will be right back. Okay, so here is the pocket, and I'll put this in there too. Oh, I not glue that down? Oh, I missed that. It is same kind of pocket, same kind of divot on there, but I did it a little differently because of the folding up part was going to be a little bit more different, because I didn't want to get rid of this lovely master board. So the 12 by 12, what I did is I cut pieces that were 6 inches. No, I cut 4.5 first. Yeah, I cut 4.5 inch strip, and then I cut, so 2 4.5 inch strips. I cut that in half, so they're 6 by 4.5, which was very close to these cards, which are 4.5 by 6.5. But just to make from the 12 by 12. So cut a 4.5, cut those 2.5 to make 6. Did it twice. That would be this one, 4.5, and cut it twice to make 2 of those. And when you cut 4.5 and 4.5, you get 9. So I ended up with a 3 inch piece, and I just took that one also and cut that down to 6 inches. And I have 2 3 by 6 inch tags for a different project. Okay, so for these, I think maybe I'll do this one. I like it. What I did is I just cut off a piece to make a pocket. Now this one, when I was really doing it, I made it a little bit bigger. This I think was 2.5. Yeah, it was 2.5. And I've come to, after I was doing them, that 2.25 was a little bit better pocket size for me. So we're going to cut 2.25. Yeah, there it is, right? Yeah, 2.25. We're going to cut 2.25 off for the pocket. All right, so that is just going to get attached to there to make its pocket, and we're going to do the same little pocket treatment on there as we did in the other ones. So I can take my false one, and we're just going to do our best to line it up, and draw on it. So like I said, you could take your 1 inch square template and do that, or not. And I can see a little bit in the back, so I'm going to trim that. Oh, one more time. It's just some guy doing little cul-de-sac circles, so he should be gone fairly quickly. There we go, nice and easy, and we're just going to put some glue, and he's gone. I mean, there's like 4 bushes in the cul-de-sac circle, and there's a big tree, and there's a fire hydrant, so there's like, 4 inches of grass on it. They come with the big riding lawnmowers to trim it. Okay. All right, so we got that pocket, and we're going to see which way we want to put it. Yeah, I think we want to put it that way because there's a ticket up there. And we're just going to glue it on. So nice and easy, instead of folding it up. We do have to glue the bottom of this one though. Whoops. I am really really shaky at gluing today. And get that even. Yeah, there we go. You got a little piece of ticket hanging off the bottom. So we're gonna trim that off afterwards. But like, as I was saying, so these have the, so if we went to fold it, I don't want to fold it too hard. This would be on here. And I could definitely take, you know, and have made a scrap out of that and put that on there. But it had some lovely papers on there that I didn't want to waste for the masterboard. So again, if you're using two-sided paper, this is the same together, and you folded it up, you would not have to necessarily cut the bottom off. You could do a fold up. I didn't have any. Here's a Tim Holtz one. And not that I would use this one to do it because I'd get rid of the birds. But let's say we wanted to do that, and you did the little fold up, it would already be taken care of, and you wouldn't have to necessarily decorate it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, I think that's pretty well done. If there was anything sticking over, I can feel just the hair of a piece hanging. We could trim it down. And round it like we did the other ones. Totally unnecessary, but I like to do it. And we can finish off by inking all the corners. So start with the 4.5 by 6, and there you go. Yeah, you definitely, if you had like the Tim Holtz papers, I mean, if you wanted to make it 4, you could. I like the 4.5. It seems to be a nice size for pockets. And like I said, a lot of my cards that I made recently are a little bit bigger, and these are, I think, 4. And these were 4 inches. So if I made a 4-inch pocket, that wouldn't work. But making a 4.5-inch pocket works spectacularly for those. I love it. Yeah, I love them. I love them. So much fun. So not a huge scrap buster, but definitely a scrap user. I guess it depends on how many you wanted to make. And you could bust them a little more if you decided to put on both on there instead of just putting it on one. But you definitely can add scrap papers to one of those. Do them double-sided. Lots of fun. So yeah, 2-inch square. Nice and easy. Makes a fun, interesting little pocket. Throw some scrap papers on there and a little bit of glue, and you're done. Like, how easy is that? I made those fairly reasonably, all from a simple little packaging that I got. So keep your eye out. That's the other thing I want to say in the beginning. Keep your eye out for some of the packaging you got, because a lot of them, they do some interesting angles and cuts for how they do their packaging. And this was definitely something that I had not seen really on anything, but it was a fun angle, and I'm glad I was able to mimic it. Okay, I think we're going to call this Bust a Scrap done. Like I said, not the hugest bust a scrap, but definitely some fun ideas, and to be able to use a few. I love it. Okay. Well, if you liked the video, a thumbs up would be great. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can be on the lookout for other videos. And any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I always like to help you guys out if you have any questions or comments. Okay, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for stopping by, and as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.